What's cracking, y'all? Welcome back to the station. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Ray G. Joined every single Monday by my man, co-host of the Wake Up with Ray G show, JRich. You can find him on X at your boy, JRich. You can find me at Ray GQ. We've got Monday Night Football on slate tonight. The Minnesota Vikings face off against the San Francisco 49ers. Looks like Christian McCaffrey is in this matchup. No Justin Jefferson on IR with the hamstring injury, but we are going to shop around, try to find some value and identify some profitable bets that you can place either on sportsbooks or on the parlay sites. JRich, let's dive right into the games because I know that these lines move constantly, so let's get these up and out for people as soon as possible, man. You've already got a few identified, so where do you want to go and look at that as we are live? Moving around as we speak. So where do you want to start at? What's some things that you've had identified? And then we'll shop around because right now it's looking like there might be a little value on Prizepicks with Brock Purdy's passing yard lines. But where are we at, Jay?
Yeah, that Brock Purdy line keeps on moving. It was at like 235.5. Now it's 237.5. It seems like people expect Brock Purdy to have a great day against the Minnesota Vikings defense. And why I also really like Brandon Ayuk, Ray. If you go and look at Brandon Ayuk lines right now, a lot of books have already moved his line to 71.5, potentially even to 72.5. Parlay play you see at 75.5, and Prizepicks still, as of right now, at 70.5. So a lot of movement. I believe that Pinnacle is already like minus 140 to the over for Brandon Ayuk. And I believe DK as well, like minus 130 to the over. So while this one's still available, it's a phenomenal play. And with the Purdy line going up, you're going to see the same thing happen with the Ayuk line. So plenty of value right now when you're looking on Prizepicks for Brandon Ayuk over his receiving yards. On the other side, though, we're also looking at Jordan Addison under receptions, right? It's a line that's been moving a little bit towards the under right now. So take a look to see what that one says because it has been moving a little bit, but it looks like right now at 4.5, if you can get an underplay, it looks like a pretty good value. Now, again, it's a little bit difficult because we expect the Niners to be up in this game, and so we see Kirk Cousins throw the ball a lot, but there is juice to the under for Kirk Cousins' passing attempts, and that could lend itself as well to Jordan Addison being under for his receptions. So how does that line look overall? Because we are covered a little bit. I see minus 125 for Caesars, and I see a couple other lines over there as well that seem a little bit juiced to the under right now for Addison under receptions. But Ray, one of your favorite lines
let me
touch on that
so we can see it because I think there's a couple of plays here. Matter of fact, we don't even need to be on the screen here.
They just bumped it, Ray. Oh, they bumped it. Ayuk 73.5 receiving yards during the show.
They did it during the show. Did they do it?
Yep.
Where's Ayuk? I still see it right there, but Prizepicks bumped it. Let's see. It's not bumped yet. I'm about to go helter skelter.
See if you can get it in. See if you can get it in. Jordan Hicks and Addison.
Addison's receptions and Hicks
under, and Jordan Hicks. Yeah, that one seems to still be up. See if you can get it up.
So Addison under, Hicks
less
over.
and more. Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can enter this in real quick. Nah. Damn, man. Yeah, there it is. Too good to be true. Brandon Ayuk already bumped, which means...
Look at those bumps, man. Oh,
it's tough,
even
man.
FanDuel. If FanDuel's still at 71.5, that's a great play right now. They'll probably bump it up, but...
I mean, that's where you take it. You take the play there on FanDuel, but the play that I was looking at, Jay, before we went back to the yards, player receptions, it looks like there's some value on Fliff for KJ Osborne. And if I were going to do something, because Fliff is the only book that's got this thing at 3.5 right now, minus 145 to the over. You see Prizepicks has it at 4.5. Odds Jam, they've got it at about 3.5 is where this line should be. But one of the books or one of the parlay sites that I wanted to call out, Jay, that I think is just, there's so much value over here. And I live in a state that does not have legalized sports gambling, so I've got to use some of the parlay sites. But Hot Streak, they set lines notoriously high either direction, but 77.5 on Hot Streak if you wanted to take an under on that one, where every other book in the market is either between 71.5 and 73 yards. There goes Hot Streak right there with Brandon Ayuk chilling at 77.5 yards. So this is one where if you wanted to take an under, there you go, Brandon Ayuk on Hot Streak. You got to use as many books as possible, Jay. But, all right, you said Jordan Hicks, right? Let's go to Jordan Hicks. You said Hicks was a good play you like?
Yeah, while it's still available, Jordan Hicks tackles and assists. I saw it up at minus 150, minus 145 on a few different books. So it is definitely a play that is solid value. You see, it looks like DK right there, minus 135 to the over at 8.5. Prizepicks, while it's still available, right? it's still there. You want to take the more, but yeah, he's been great so far, and a lot of books really like him to go over in this matchup.
Yeah, this is a good call out right here, Jay. This is a really good call out. Getting fixed pricing on Prizepicks minus 119, and you got the books Fliff minus 140, got DK minus 135, Caesars MGM the same, William Hill same as well. So that's a nice one, and we do have Hicks in there. So let's edit this. Let's get Brandon Ayuk out of there. We've got Hicks, and you didn't talk a lot about Addison, but you like the under his receptions, right?
Yeah, so the books were kind of saying right now under on the receptions for Jordan Addison, just a little bit of juice to the under. Some books heavily juice to the under depending on where you look. So it's looking like a decent play for Addison. But again, it's one of those ones that's tough because I think we know the game script is going to lend itself to San Francisco getting ahead and then Minnesota trying to play catch up. It's been a spot for Addison that's been okay right now. He's been flirting right around that number. 5 has been a number that he hasn't always been able to hit. But if the books are saying go under, then I'm definitely inclined to look at it. So it's one to monitor throughout the day because he hasn't hit this line in each of his last 4 games.
I'm going back to the passing yards, and I'm looking at Purdy right now. Average odds minus 240 and a half, 240 and a half. You're getting 237 on Prizepicks. Parlay play, 242. Every other book, 240. No juice heavy either way, but man, even FanDuel, 240 and a half. Again, hot streak, 255 and a half for Brock Purdy. I like this line. I like 237 and a half for Brock. CMC should be in this one, should be in this matchup. I'm okay with this one for Brock Purdy. It looks like this is a good line, good value here, just shopping around. Let's move around a little bit more, Jay. Let's go pass attempts. What do we have for pass attempts, pass completions? So here we go. Nothing on Prizepicks for the attempts for Purdy. Kirk Cousins, 36 and a half, and a little bit of juice to the under.
To the under, right?
On DraftKings right there. It's looking like it's being juiced, being bet down right there. Let's go completions real quick. See if we see anything, Jay. 24 and a half for Cousins on Prizepicks.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Don't love it. Don't hate it. Brock Purdy. Would you rather go 237 yards for Purdy, or would you rather take the completions at 19 and a half with, DraftKings, MGM, Caesars? There's some juice to the over pouring in right now for 19 and a half completions for Brock Purdy.
I don't hate it, but Ray, I think what's interesting about this, and we didn't even consider this at all, is could this be an indication that Christian McCaffrey is not going to play in this matchup? There's no lines out for him right now. Purdy's lines are going up. Ayuk's lines are going up. You talk about the completions, I think it'd be a phenomenal play if Christian McCaffrey doesn't go. So, I think seeing this type of movement, it's something to monitor. We talk about Ayuk at 73 and a half. If Christian McCaffrey's not in the lineup, I even like it at 73 and a half. That's why we're seeing books have it 75 and a half, 77 and a half. Right? All we have right now are touchdown lines for McCaffrey. If he doesn't go, I think that would elevate a Purdy up to 250 yards potentially, Ayuk up to 75 yards. So do you think there's any indication here that maybe McCaffrey doesn't go in this matchup by the way these lines are moving right now?
I mean, that's not what they're saying. They're saying he's going to be in. They're saying he's going to play, not worried about the oblique injury. He was practicing this week. I'm just trying to find the value here, Jay, right? I don't want to do too much of that. I think CMC is going to play, but looking at the value and where the money is flowing in, what the books are telling us, looks like 19 and a half might be a little better than the 237 and a half passing yard number. Maybe. I like both of these plays.
Because the seat keeps going up. You got FanDuel 240, Caesars 239. And the only reason why I push back on the completions is that I think that we know that Ayuk especially can make the big play. Kittle can make the big play to where they score the points without all the completions, and he gets to the yardage total without having to do a whole lot in terms of getting those total completions. So I think the Niners are a big play offense, and I think that they can do enough to get the yards, but the completions could be minimal depending on how they ultimately have to play in this game.
All right, rushing, there's not a lot out right now. Look at this. Yeah. Again, the value of using various books and various resources. 62 and a half for Christian McCaffrey on Fliff. On DraftKings, it looks like 63 and a half. That's locked up. 55 and a half on FanDuel. Even money both ways. I like that play quite a bit. Jay, but right here on Hot Streak, 56 and a half. And Prizepicks will probably open this up at 62, 63. Getting 56 and a half on Hot Streak. So just another opportunity. Spot. I know, it's just another opportunity to cash out and get a little bit of value. And even like Kirk Cousins, I know it's only 1 yard, Every other book, every other site, 2.5, juice to the under, a little bit of juice to the over, actually, but you got 3.5 here on Hot Streak. Would not touch that. There's nothing for CMC. Don't want to do anything there. Alexander Madison at 46.5 on Prizepicks, 45 on Parlay Play, 45.5 on Fliff, Underdog, and DraftKings. I don't think there's much that we want to touch right here, do we, in this market?
No, Madison's a player that, he could get 50, he could get 35, especially against this Niners defense. And without any juice either way on the books, it's not a play I'm really looking at right now. Would you consider, is there anything there for the rush attempts? Because, nope. I think we know that he's going to get opportunities. It's just we don't know if the yards are going to be there.
That's that whole number of 12 on Prizepicks, 12.5 Parlay Play, 11.5 on Fliff. And
Underdog, too, it looks like.
Yeah, and on Underdog. You can take it on Underdog at 11.5. So if you wanted to add that to an Underdog slip, yeah, you can go ahead and do that in DraftKings, 11.5 with juice to the over, -135. Pricing, there was a reception play, KJ Osborne. Let me go back to that and let me see what Fliff has. KJ Osborne, 3.5, -155 to the over. You see, it's not the pricing you want to take on a single slip. You get better pricing on DraftKings. But if you did want to same game parlay KJ Osborne potentially with some other plays, I think that's how you would utilize that 3.5 line where Parlay Play, Prizepicks have him at 4, 3.5 -155. This is same game parlay territory for me for KJ Osborne. So just looking at what we've got, and lines are ripping. They're moving all type of directions. Pass attempts, we really don't feel like there's much value in this market. Passing completions, Brock Purdy, 19.5. If you like that, Jay, I think you like the yards a little more than the completions for Brock Purdy, which we talked about, the 237.5 passing yards for Brock, which has been bumped to 239 as we did this. You see that, Jay? Bumped again. So Purdy went from 237.5 to 239. That's why you shop. You got to do it quick. Now, between 239 and 19.5, which would you prefer, Jay?
It's close. I think they're almost at stay away territory, right? This is a line that's already bumped twice since we got on stream, right?
That's
Ayuk
right.
already got bumped and may continue to get bumped because he may be up all the way at 75.5 by the time this game ultimately closes. That's why the name of the game is to shop and to bet early, because you're going to get better value on those lines. It looks like the Addison play is still out there. Jordan Hicks looks like it's still available, but these San Francisco 49ers players keep getting bumped up, and that's not great for us right now trying to shop these lines.
If you wanted to take a Kittle play, FanDuel, 47.5, best pricing, -110 right there on FanDuel. Jordan Addison, 50.5 yards on Prizepicks, lower than just about everybody else out there. But if you wanted to catch some value there, 50.5 on Addison, -110 on FanDuel as well. Jay, I think we're going to wrap it so we can get this up. I see KJ Osborne here at 40.5. Want to look at his receptions really quickly and see if there's a play. Addison's still good. So, yeah, I think that's what we're rolling with. That's what we found for this matchup. So we won't chase Brock Purdy's passing yards, but you do like it less for Jordan Addison, 4.5 receptions, more Jordan Hicks, 8.5 tackles and assisted tackles, and more than 19.5 passing completions for Brock Purdy. I think I'm going to leave it alone. I don't want to force it. I was about to start looking at some combo yards and things of that nature, but we're not going to do any of that. Do you have any fantasy score plays pulled up on the tracker, Jay? Anything fantasy score play-wise, or you just want to roll with these 3 picks and get these out to the people so they can get these before they bump?
So for right now, I don't have any. It's just a tough slate for me, honestly. That's the main problem. I like some of the plays. I think, if you wanted to go fantasy score for Ayuk, it's probably a pretty good value because I do expect them to have a big game in this one. Minnesota really struggles against outside wide receivers, but 15 is a big number, right? It's not small, but with Debo out, it could be an opportunity. Is there a world where Kittle's good value? I don't know, because it seems like he's kind of hit or miss every week, and so I don't necessarily want to take a play on him. But I think Ayuk's the only one I'm really looking at. Brock is a maybe as well, but for now I'm staying away. It really would just be Brandon Ayuk if I went to fantasy score.
And I'm looking right here. Kittle plus 110 on Fliff. Not bad. DK, you can get him at plus 114 if you wanted to take it. If you wanted to take the over 4.5, but this is heavily juiced to the under on everywhere for George Kittle. So there we go. Those are the plays for Monday Night Football. It's a tough slate. There's not a lot up for Christian McCaffrey, and the Minnesota Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson. So hopefully you were able to get a couple of these in that we talked about. We will line shop. This is what we do. We get up, we check the books, we check the lines, try to find the value, give you the plays. We don't make you pay for them on this channel. We just ask that you hit the thumbs up button, like the content. And if you do want more picks, not just from myself, not from Jay, but from a variety of people who cap these games, over 12 cappers, there's a link in the description to join the Dub Club product. Mitch Carl at DFS and Donuts puts that on with a bunch of different cappers. So you can go over there, use the promo code BFAST in order to get $10 off your first month over there. We appreciate you tapping into the stream. Hopefully get some of these plays in. Let's cash out this Monday, and we'll see y'all for breakfast and bets on Wednesday. We're out. Peace.